Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 14. Let's get straight into the action. The camera finds Tom Phillips, Nigel McGuinness, and Steve Corino at ringside. They all nod as Tom welcomes us to NXT. Phillips tells us that tonight's main event will feature No Way Jose and Andrade Cien Almas in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. Additionally, tonight we're going to see one half of the iconic duos Billie Kay take on NXT's newest women's division competitor and number one contender Candice LaRae. Billie claims that last week was a fluke in their tag team match, and she's going to prove everyone right tonight. Just as he finishes, the camera focuses to the stage. Glorious hits as NXT champion Bobby Roode shows up on the ramp. The NXT champ plays into the NXT Universe's cheers and adulation as he begins to make his way down the ramp and towards the ring. Bobby is now in the ring, mic in hand, and begins to address the NXT Universe. Bobby says, smirking, to have confidence is a great thing. Hell, it's a wonderful thing. However, it may have backfired 2 weeks ago. Bobby points to the screen and says Bobby points to the screen as we see him issuing an open challenge with Curtis Axel accepting and now taking on Bobby at NXT TakeOver Deep South. The fans chant Axel as Bobby smirks. To say that Curtis Axel is on my level, well, that would be just silly. However, I'm not blind to the fact Curtis Axel has now hit the stage to not music, which has caught off guard Bobby Roode and stopped him in his tracks. Axel, with a microphone, says that he'll finish the sentence for Bobby Roode. He says that he is blind. He is blind thinking that at NXT TakeOver Deep South he has any chance at defeating the Axeman. The fans blew heavily as Axel smiles and remarks, "See, they agree," as chuckles reign. Bobby continues to start in on Curtis Axel. Curtis says that, "Bobby, you may be glorious, but I was born perfect." This pops the crowd. Curtis says that he's not going to waste any more time because he knows how busy the NXT champion is, but next week he'll be making his NXT in-ring debut and says that he should take notes because if the warm-up match next week should serve as anything, it should serve as notice for Bobby Roode that his NXT championship days are numbered. Axel's theme hits and Bobby Roode is left in the ring half smirking, half annoyed, having been cut off. An 88. Holy shit. What a rating. My best rating by far, which is freaking A. Better than anything else I've seen, obviously. So, yeah, or is it? Sorry, I was replying to a text. But anyways, absolutely great. It's 88 rating. I mean, wow, what a program. I'm very excited now to see where it goes in the next coming week. All right, next though, and about that at Subpar Wrestling in Little Heat, Eric Young defeats Patrick Clark with a wheelbarrow neckbreaker. Eric Young gets the victory over Clark here today on NXT, basically just building his stock back up. All right, next in NXT TakeOver Deep South promo airs, hyping all the matches, and basically just getting us ready for that show coming up in just a week and a half now. Alright, now, and about that, a decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Candice LaRae defeats Billie Kay in 10 minutes with a balls plex. Candice LaRae defeats one half of the iconic duos, Billie Kay, for a second straight week and gets the victory here tonight on NXT. Alright, now, after the bell sounds, though, a joyous Candice LaRae smirks that even after wanting a rematch to taking the pin last week, Billie Kay this week was accidentally hit by her iconic duo partner and NXT Women's Champion Peyton Royce, which led to the defeat. In 2 weeks, Peyton defends her championship against Candice LaRae at NXT TakeOver Deep South. Alright, next the camera finds William Regal on television as the camera pulls back and shows TM61, Nick Miller, and Shane Thorne, who returned after their injury last week. Then the NXT Tag Team Champions, the Authors of Pain, Razor and Akon with their manager Paul Ellering. William Regal says that he's going to make this brief. He says that given NXT was injured at the hands of the Authors of Pain right before they were able to obtain their NXT Tag Team Championship match they had won via a number one contendership match at NXT TakeOver Deep South, he is allowing TM61 to go back to the front of the line, which they earned months ago anyways, as the two teams will meet for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The crowd cheers as Paul Ellering looks at Regal angrily. "Typical Regal," he says. Ellering stares a hole in Regal and taps his shoulders on his Authors of Pain as they leave with him, leaving Regal and TM61 to themselves. Regal turns back as TM61 shaking off the look, and TM61 shakes the hand of Commissioner William Regal. NXT TakeOver Deep South, TM61 versus the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. So TM61 obviously getting the match that they deserved prior to injury. All right, next up, Next week on NXT, we'll see Cassius Ohno take on Ty Dillinger in the NXT Money in the Bank qualifying match. And also, Tom Phillips is taking over the graphic now, talking over the graphic, saying it's official, confirmed by NXT Commissioner William Regal. Next week, the Axeman, Curtis Axel, makes his NXT debut against Roderick Strong. That should be a great match, and I'm very excited to putting that on for you guys. And to see, actually, what will happen myself. All right, but let's see what happens in this week's main event. In this week's main event, in a decent match, Andrade Cien Almas defeats No Way Jose in 18 million minutes by pinfall with a Brillante driver. Andrade Almas joins that of Mr. NXT, Eric Young, and Aleister Black in the NXT Money in the Bank match. So in Mr. NXT, Aleister Black, Cien Almas, and Eric Young. Quite the foursome so far in this NXT Money in the Bank match. So I'm very excited. That's a very good group. Triple H now seen walking down the hallway though. Walking down the hallway and into the office of William Regal. What exactly does it mean? You'll find out soon. But as it stands, this is the end of NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 14. Let's see what our rating was. 63. Fucking fantastic. Our absolute best rating yet. Just absolutely glorious, I guess you could say. This was NXT The Game Season 1, Episode 14. Next week will be the go-home show before NXT TakeOver Deep South. Actually, excuse me, I have 2 more episodes before NXT TakeOver Mid-South. Deep South. Fuck, this is a tough one. NXT TakeOver Deep South is 2 more shows away. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a glorious afternoon.